Swagger. What's up, guys? Today we are going to learn Swagger. What is Swagger? As always, let's check online. As per documentation, Swagger is a set of open source tools built around the Open API specification that we can use to design, build, document, and consume REST APIs. But what is Open API specification? According to this documentation, Open API specification is an API description format for REST APIs. An Open API file allows us to describe our entire API, including available endpoints and operation on each endpoint, operation parameters, input and output for each operation, authentication methods, contact information, license, terms of use, and other information. Okay, let me show you an example in Spring Boot for us to be. Let me show you how to implement it in Spring Boot, so it will be easier to visualize. Okay, basically, Swagger is in layman's term is a tool for us to document our API and test, as simple as that. So in Spring Boot, we can, to implement a Swagger in Spring Boot, we just need a dependency like this: Spring Doc Open API Starter Web MVC UI. Only one dependency. Okay, yeah, and the rest, of course, since this is web, of course we need this, but for Swagger alone, we just need one dependency, which is this one: Spring Doc dash Open API dash Starter dash Web MVC dash UI. Okay, then for yeah, basically that one. Then we need some annotations. These are important annotation. We have for Swagger, we have operation, where at operation annotation for us to give the brief summary of our API and the description. Okay, we also have the at API response, where we can specify the response code and the description of each code. For example, like this: 200 for success operation, then 404 if not found. Alright, then also we have another annotation, Swagger annotation, which is at parameter, to describe our parameter. In this case, we have parameter called name, so we specify the name, the description, and the example value of this parameter. Alright, and another important annotation, Swagger annotation, is like schema. For example, our parameter is an object like this, request object. We can describe this also, like let's go inside by using at schema annotation, where we can specify the name of the parameter, the title, the description, the example, and even the default value of this parameter. Okay, yeah, basically that's it. Then what else do we have here? Let's check the configuration. Oh, nothing else. Okay, let me run this so you can see the output of our Swagger documentation for these two endpoints. We have two and one. First is the get endpoint hello, and the post endpoint, which is high. Okay, we have, let's see how it looks in Swagger UI. Let's run this. So by the way, I have another controller here to the direct. So our default page will be this Swagger page. Okay, Swagger UI page. So as you can see here, when I type in the CTP localhost, I don't need to specify an endpoint. Localhost, yeah, that's it. Then because of our controller, this controller, it will redirect to Swagger UI, Swagger page basically. Okay, let's hit this one. All right, so this is our Swagger documentation. We have two endpoints, hi and hello, as we see in our controller here. Hello and hi. Okay, let me show you one by one. So as you can see, we have description here of the API, the one we described here in the operation at operation. Then also we have the how you call this, we also have the schema. I think the schema we can see here, the request. As you can see here, this is the request, this is the schema. As you can see, the one I showed you earlier, this is the schema where we describe each parameter, because it's an object, right? So we have inside this object we have field param1, param2, basically our parameter, because yeah, our parameter is an object. So this is how we describe it. As you can see here, you can see the title, example, default, and sample descriptions. Okay, all right, so this is the schema annotation, okay, for a request parameter. Okay, then what else we have here? Then for the API response, you can see here, yeah, this is the 200. So you can see that this is the description of our response. Response code is 200, the description 404, and description for the 404 code. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Then for the parameter, because we have object parameter, if we use object parameter, we use a schema, right? This one, just like I showed you earlier, this one. But there's parameter like string, this one, for hello. Let's go, let me show it to you. For hello, you can see parameter here. You see the name in our the parameter name here. I put name, and the description, whatever parameters is, you see, sample name parameter. So we can even also specify the example here. See the chart. All right, and also Swagger not only it's not only a tool to document our API. We can also use this tool to test our API. For example, this API hi, right? We can try, and this is our parameter. We can execute, and we get the response. In this case, is no. I'm actually expecting, let's go to the method. Hello. We're checking this, right? Head request. Yeah. I'm expecting we display whatever we pass. Let me check again. Oh, I think because our parameter is our request is wrong. By right, we should pass not sample name. It should be param. Something wrong with uh, our request. It should be param too, right? I know because the name we specify here is wrong. It should be param. Let me change this, otherwise you get confused. The name should be like this. It should be the same with the name of the field. Okay, let me run it again. So again, Swagger is a tool to document our API, and we can also use Swagger to test our API. Okay, so let me try this one. We're going to test this high API or endpoint. Okay, so now let's go to our documentation for this API that we just tried. So now our request is this. Let's execute. Alright, so now we're getting this response. Response body. This is the response body. Okay, this is the response header. Alright, so if we change this, for example, this one is parameter is, let's say, Richard. Let's say 1, 2, 3. So we basically, since the logic of our API, we just return what we pass. So we expect the output should contain Richard in 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try it again. Alright, you see, Richard 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the same thing with the other API. The other API is hello. Basically, this one we display whatever we pass. So for example, let's test it, try it out. Let's say instead of Richard, let's say Gomez. So we expect the API will return this. Alright, so you see, hello Gomez, because this is the input Gomez. Yeah, basically that's it, guys. Oh, one more thing. Let me show it to you. Let me also show you how to deploy this in Elastic Beanstalk. For this video, I'm not going to explain what is Elastic Beanstalk. If you want to know about the AWS Elastic Beanstalk, you can check my previous video. I have some tutorial about AWS Elastic Beanstalk. But as part of this video, I will show you how to deploy our Swagger application in our AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Alright, so let's log into our AWS console. let's go to elastic beanstalk. Elastic beanstalk. And this one, it's quite slow. Applications. All right. Oh, before I forget, when we deploy our Spring Boot application in AWS Elastic Beanstalk, we don't forget to always remember to set the server port to 5000. The reason is, if we use other port, then we will get a 502 gateway error, because AWS, when you hit the, for example, we already deploy in AWS cloud, right? When we hit the URL, what AWS do, it will redirect internally to port 5000 or 5000. So that's why we need to use 5000. Okay. And another thing is, yeah, basically that's it. We just always remember, when we deploy to AWS Beanstalk, we should use 5000. Okay. Otherwise, we cannot hit our URL in using the AWS URL. Okay. So let's create the application. First, we rebuild our application because we changed the port to 5000. So let's rebuild it. So while building our Spring Boot application, let's go back to our AWS console and create the application. Here we put a Swagger demo, then create the application. Then after creating the application, we create the environment. In environment, we choose web, because this is a web application, so we choose web server environment. Then the platform, we choose Java, because this is Java application, so it runs using JVM. Then of course we have our jar we just built just now. We will upload it. Swagger demo for the version level, local file, because we want to upload our jar. So let's go to our Swagger application, this one, target. So this is the jar built just now, right? Today 10:15. Alright, just upload the jar. After uploading it, okay, next, just click next button. Then we use the existing service role. I've created this previously, so just use the existing one. Then EC2 instance, we use this one. Again, if you don't know how to create the this one is automatic. It will if first time you have to create, you have to choose this create, then it will, this whatever you specify here will be created automatically. But for this one, EC2 instance profile, you have to create it separately. If you want to know how to do that, in my previous video about the Elastic Beanstalk, I show it there, how to create this EC2 instance profile. Okay, so for now we will just use the existing one, this one. Anything I can use. Okay, so this is for service role. Then VPC, we use the create we need to create a new create custom VPC. I think it will create automatically. Let's try. Let's try to create VPC. Create VPC. Alright. Let's go to previous one because we really need to select VPC. Yeah, this one. So we have now. Alright. Okay. So always remember we have to choose VPC. This is our virtual private cloud. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Then click the rest. We just keep the default settings. No need to choose anything. Just click next. Next again. Then submit. It will take some time. Submit. Okay. Just wait while our application is launching. So you can see the steps here. Just refresh. First, it create the environment. Second, using Elastic Beanstalk, as it creates also this S3 storage for our environment data. Then security group is created also. This is the name of our security group. Security group. What else? This is IP is created. So basically we don't need to know these details, but this is what's internally, this is what the AWS cloud service is doing under the hood. But from our end, we don't really care about this. What we want is we just want to deploy our application, Spring Boot application, and access it via internet. So we expect a URL that we can access anywhere, use via outside our network, basically to internet. Okay. So yeah, here is the environment health has transitioned to pending, initialization in progress, waiting for EC2 instance to launch. This may take few minutes. Okay, let's wait a bit. So as you can see, the status is still pending here. Once it's completed, the status we expect the status should be okay instead of pending. Then once it's become okay, we can use this link to access our application, Spring Boot application. This is actually the URL. Okay. So a while ago, our application is accessible only in our local. As you can see, we use localhost here. But once deployed in AWS cloud service, we can access it anywhere as long as we have internet. Okay, that's the reason why I deployed it to our AWS cloud service. So what is the service that we use to make it accessible over internet? The service is called Elastic Beanstalk. So this is the service where we deploy our Spring Boot application, Elastic Beanstalk. Okay. All right. So still launching. Add instance to your environment. So the instance is already added to our environment. Taking some time. Normally, if it's taking so long, there is a problem actually, but I'm not sure for this one. It should be less than 5 minutes only. Alright, what else can I share while waiting? This one, as I mentioned a while ago, I created another controller. The purpose of this is we don't want to type any endpoint. We just, as you can see, we just hit here, we just hit the host until here only, localhost and the port. Then because of this controller, it will redirect to Swagger page. Okay, so we don't need to type anything. We don't need to type any endpoint like Swagger, UI HTML or something. This is basically the default is the Swagger page. Okay, so this is the purpose of our controller, this controller. Then for this one, this is our our endpoints that we document. So remember earlier, we have the hello endpoint and hi endpoint. So we use some annotation, Swagger annotation, to document this API. Okay, at operation, at this API response. Yeah, even the parameter, at parameter we can also document. Okay, then if the parameter is object like this, you can use schema like this. Okay, yeah, then for the dependency, for Swagger, we only need one dependency. The dependency is called Spring Doc Open API Starter Web MVC UI. Yeah, that's it. Then for when we want to deploy to AWS Elastic Bean, the port must be 5000. Okay, let's go back to our AWS console. It's taking some time. Maybe I don't have internet. Let's see if I have internet. Sometimes yes. Maybe because of this, I have a lot of anyway, let's wait a bit. You can even try to access. So this is the URL that we expect we cannot access because it's still in progress, right? So Swagger demo environment, this is, yeah. So is not accessible yet. We can even see the logs here. Oh, failed to request environment logs. I'm afraid you might hit the request timeout. I think there is some issue with our VPC. Anyway, for this demo, I only wanted to highlight the Swagger. This is I already shown. The elastic big for the elastic bean elastic beanstalk portion, I suggest you just refer to my previous video, because we are running out of time. I do not want to waste your time on this. Anyway, we can take this separately. For this video, I only wanted to highlight, I only wanted to cover the Swagger tool. Okay, which is this one. Okay, I think that's all, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something important again today, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.